out there running.
And Matthews into the fast break. Great handle by Purnell. He'll sting that low right corner.
Alley lines as well. Now the ball is scrambling here, and Kahn comes up with a huge save early on.
Barrett right back to Gaffney. Now Helton step down, shot finds the corner.
They have numbers. Matthews, Kaliza, down to Purnell. Purnell back to the middle. Matthews picks the far side. Textbook fast break by the Bulldogs.
And welcome to Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire. We'll bring you today's Division I boys lacrosse quarterfinals here on this rainy Saturday afternoon. We are about ready to start, just about 2 minutes before starting lineups get announced here in the stadium. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger. For the BCTV crew, I have Kevin Gibbs here in the booth with me today. Kevin, these two teams met not too long ago as we were wrapping up the regular season. What do you expect today?
Well, once the playoffs start, Corey, all bets are off. During the regular season, Bedford did defeat Londonderry in a game played here a few weeks ago, as you know. 17-11, I believe, was the score. No, 16-11.
16-11 back on the 23rd of May.
Exactly, but everybody's 0-0. I know it's a trite saying, but it's a real saying. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody is one and done. So everything's at stake here for both teams involved, and you can bet Londonderry is going to give it everything that they have in the tank.
Bedford finished the season, the regular season that is, 13-5, earning the number 3 seed. Londonderry, on the other hand, finished 10-7. They come in with the number 6 seed. So Bedford able to host this afternoon, playing for the opportunity to go to the semifinals, which will be played on Wednesday, June 11th. The winner here will take on the winner of Bishop Girton versus Concord, who start at 5 p.m. this afternoon. Both semifinal games will be played over in Exeter at Bill Ball Stadium, with the final next Saturday, the 14th at 7 p.m. So a long road ahead of them. Pinkerton, the number 1 seed coming into the playoff bracket. They polished off Dover, the number 9 seed, who was able to get past South in that first round. That final score, Pinkerton 14, Dover 1. So they await the winner of Exeter and Merrimack. That's the 4-5 matchup, again being played today at 5 p.m. So starting lineups getting announced here momentarily. 64 degrees today. Actually feels a little bit warmer than that.
A balmy 64 degrees. And for those folks who are keeping track, we have not had a non-rainy Saturday since St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I thought they said it was 12 weeks in a row, which is just absolutely amazing. And I think it went back further with snow on the weekends into January.
And if you look ahead on the weather app on my phone, it says rain for next Saturday.
Great, perfect. But we don't complain. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful. That's how it goes in spring in New England. And we're ready to get rolling. So it has been a steady drizzle. Congratulations to all of the seniors on the team today, going through graduation earlier today. Evan Capello, Luke Purnell, Colby Boyd, Tommy Frangelo, Parker Gupta, Brian Riccio, and manager Alex Cotnoir. Manager only this year because of a season-ending injury. So congratulations to those seniors on their graduation earlier today. Spectacular day for both them and their families, and we wish them the best as they continue their lacrosse career, hopefully Wednesday and maybe Saturday, but then also into the future if they choose to do so.
And as a quick side note, Corey, I believe you were present at the graduation this morning?
I was, yes. My youngest daughter, Nellie, is also a graduate of Bedford High School now, so empty nest in the fall. It'll be a little bit of an awkward situation, but we plan to travel to watch her play soccer at the next level, as well as to see my older daughter with her music concerts. So yes, a great day in our household as well. Thank you.
That's great. Congratulations to the family.
Thank you, sir.
Starting to attack, a senior captain, number 3.
Starting lineups being announced in the stadium right now for Londonderry. Similar lineup that we saw on the 23rd of May. Cameron Ayotte, long stick midfielder. They listed him as a defenseman here. Colby Walden, a senior attacker. Also a senior, Andrew Cody, will be back on the D end, number 4. Number 7, Owen Heward, a sophomore, starting at attack. Brock St. Gelais in goal. He's a sophomore. an attacker, also a sophomore, Brody Campbell. Two midfielders back-to-back here, 15 and 16, Griffin Cunningham, a freshman, and 16, Cody Playton, a senior. Back at D, number 20, Graham Cunningham, and another midfielder, number 22, Austin Callahan, a freshman. I look across this starting lineup for the Lancers, very young, a lot of sophomores, a freshman, two freshmen in there, pretty impressive.
They do, but they also do have a lot of seniors on the roster, though, so this is an experienced squad.
We will take a break to hear from our underwriters and join you for lacrosse action momentarily.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
Just about ready to get underway here. 12 minutes on the board for this first quarter. I have a giant umbrella right in front of me. I'm going to have to take care of that at some point here. We'll be getting ready to go and all set for the face-off, the traditional handshake as the teams go out to midfield to meet each other. Goalies will meet at midfield and take their positions in their goals. Rainy day, a little soggy, might affect the pocket of the stick a little bit. Players will have to make that adjustment early on.
You know, you mentioned back in the intros that Bedford is the 3 seed in the postseason. They actually tied for second with Bishop Girton with a 13-5 record, but Bishop Girton did take them down in their head-to-head matchup earlier in the season. But Bishop Girton, normally a powerhouse, did incur 5 losses this year, and you know, they do play a challenging out-of-state schedule. So did our Bulldogs as well, and the fact that they played relatively close earlier in the season bodes well for Bedford's postseason opportunities here.
Sure does. That Bishop Girton squad, a traditional powerhouse. We are lining up. We're just about ready to go. For the Bulldogs starting, we will have that familiar attack line. John Purnell, Luke Purnell, and Evan Capello. Dylan Riccio getting a start, listed as midfielder, plays a lot of long stick midfield. Colby Boyd back on D. Ethan Kahn in net. We are underway here. Bennett Matthews, Cam Santos, Will Frangelo, and Brian Riccio will all start. Excuse me, I had that wrong. I had Dylan Riccio on D. He's our, the face-off midfielder, as the Bulldogs turn it over on their first possession, throwing it out of bounds. The Lancers will clear it out. They find Tyler Knapp in the middle of the field. Looks to escape some pressure. Dishes it back to Andrew Cody.
I like the aggressiveness that Bedford's showing here right from the start.
Their ride has been phenomenal all season as they're causing problems here again, trying to scramble for this loose ball in the offensive end. Cameron Ayotte scoops up the ground ball and looks to get back into transition. Some early sloppiness here as Santos picks up the GB. His pass gets tipped, and now Bennett Matthews scoops it up. The junior captain looking to guide his team back to the semifinals. Last year, this Bedford squad went all the way to the finals. There was some hope they might be able to knock off Bishop Girton. Unfortunately, they lost in that finals game. Behind here with Luke Purnell. He'll settle things down, and that's a smart move from the senior attacker, as it was a bit sloppy there for that minute ensuing the face-off. Helton cuts through the middle, tries a little backhand twister, can't get a shot solid on cage, and Brock St. Gelais will clear it out from his keep. Near side, here's Graham Cunningham exploring this ride, absorbs a check. Now feeds, tried to get the backdoor cutter, and Owen Heward couldn't quite dangle. Ball's on the floor, and Kahn comes away with the loose ball. Purnell up to Capello. Checked away, and they throw a flag. That's a tough flag right there. Cam Ayotte's going to head to the box on a push. as Capello was able to grab that. Ayotte pushed him from behind. A lot of the referees around these parts will let that go as a loose ball push and just award possession, but we get the foul here and the first opportunity for the Bulldogs extra man offense. 10:07 to go in this first quarter, scoreless. So Luke Purnell will start at back right of St. Gelais. Helton top center, looks for Matthews. He gets a little bit of space, cranks one high and wide. Backing it up near side corner is Parker Gupta. Luke Purnell up top, his pass gets tipped. Long stick in the passing lane. That was Austin Callahan getting a piece. And now Helton takes a bounce shot. St. Gelais gets down for it. Good save early for St. Gelais. Helton misses the cage here near side. Great cut through the middle. Tough for these man-down defenders to keep their heads on a swivel here.
They're doing a good job so far, though. They're keeping Bedford in a position where they're really having to probe and look for an opportunity.
Penalty is released. We're back to even up play, 6-on-6. The Bulldogs looking to cash in on this possession. Helton drives hard righty. Shot, misses wide left. St. Gelais looked like he was there. Helton missed wide left, backed up behind by John Purnell. He'll have a go at it as they look to match up the long sticks on these powerful midfielders. Purnell draws the shorty. Bounce pass saves St. Gelais, excuse me. And as an attackman, Jay Abendroth, my other color commentary throughout the regular season, we've talked about how these attackmen need to take that personally. If you're going to put a shorty on me, I'm going to go strong every time. Helton will take a cranker here. St. Gelais with the save.
St. Gelais has been stellar so far in the first 3+ minutes of this game, making a lot of stops.
And now the Lancers finally clear it out. It looks like they'll have their first opportunity here in the offensive end to settle things down. Great job there by Santos. Rides the player all the way out of bounds. That was Connor Woodward. Couldn't quite get rid of it. Santos just kept harassing him all the way down that far sideline, and it leads to a turnover. Ethan Kahn will clear it out of his own crease. Here's Colby Boyd. Up quick to Riccio. Here's Brian Riccio. He's got a break, 4-on-3. The Lancers collapse. They shut down the odd man, so the Bulldogs will settle and get into their 6-on-6 offense. All the way out up top, Brody Helton draws the long stick defender. Runs by to his left, pulls the trigger, bounce shot wide left. Backed up behind John Purnell.
Wish I'd started keeping track of the number of shots on goal Bedford had right from the start. Seems like they're already approaching double digits.
A barrage so far, some not hitting the net, some getting saved by St. Gelais. Either way, they have not yet solved the defense as they look to get on the board here early. Errant pass. Cam Ayotte scoops it up. Good ride here. And the Bulldogs get the ground ball. And another chance on the offensive end. Here's Matthews. Bennett Matthews now draws the long stick. Rolls to his left, draws the double, pops inside. Gupta cashes, lefty finish. Great job for the senior graduate as Parker Gupta gets the Bedford Bulldogs on the board. Matthews with a nice little assist on that high crease, and it's 1-0 Bedford.
With the amount of time that Bedford was spending in front of the Londonderry goal, it was just a matter of time before they were going to find the net, the back of the net.
Saw that Gupta caught it lefty, was able to bury near side. That's offside hip for St. Gelais. Toughest save to come up with. And Gupta too quick on that shot. 1-0 Bulldogs.
Even though it's just 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the lights are on here at the Boneyard.
Brian Riccio will check out on Owen Heward. Heward, just the sophomore, will take Riccio behind. Looks to use his speed to get to that offside. Tries to feed inside, but checked nicely by Riccio. Ball goes into the turf. Kahn scoops it up and likes to look upfield. Teddy Lapointe tries to run the break. It's even though as the Lancers get back nicely in transition, so the point settles. The point, as you notice with the short stick, he normally plays with the long pole, has been playing some LSM, long stick midfield for the Bulldogs, and now pulls the shorty. Matthews with a shot. St. Gelais, offside high, is able to pick that. Helton misses the cage and an easy walk-in one-on-one.
Point blank range.
I believe he stepped into the crease. Just a little fake would have done the job, but nice job picking it off. Just waltzes in and missed to the far side. I believe he stepped in the cage. Oh, excuse me. No, they called it goalie, or excuse me, the Lancers, whoever it was closest to the shot when it went out, where it went out, so they'll clear things out. Ticking down to 6 minutes here in the first quarter. 1-0 is your score. Cam Ayotte tries to press the action here for the Lancers. Good check there by Boyd, but Colby Walden comes up with it, scoots it ahead to Heward. Heward takes it up behind for the Lancers. The Lancers look to even things up top with Blake Thompson. Senior midfielder checks back with Coach Ward as they organize their offense. Looks to be jumping into a 2-3-1. Possibly a 1-4, no, 1-3-2 now as they put two behind. As Thompson looks to go one-on-one with Helton, now he dishes to the near wing. Back up top, here's Odin Delory. His shot low to the left for Kahn. Stick side for him. Sure-handed save for Kahn. Near side, Will Frangelo. Helton pops it ahead. Matthews has a break. 4-on-3. Quick man to the point. Shot Capello, high left side. Buries in the corner. 2-0 Bulldogs.
I believe that also was assisted by Bennett Matthews.
Sure was. Nice job running the break. Matthews, the quick up from Helton. They automatically have numbers here. The 4-on-3 early to the point man. Capello, slide is late and not complete. Capello stings that upper 90. 2-0 Bedford.
That was two of Bedford's most prolific point scorers, connecting on that most recent goal.
Face off to the Lancers here. Santos gets a piece of that pass. Ground ball scooped up by Brian Riccio. Shovels it back to Kahn. And there's goalie interference, so that'll be a free clear. Ground ball scooped up by Kahn. The riding team, in this case the Lancers, need to allow him 4 seconds to clear it out of his crease. The goalie has basically a free run of things back there for those 4 seconds. At that point, they do have to step out of the crease, and they do not have that protection. But if one of the riding players makes any contact, it's goalie interference, so it leads to a free clear. Taking a tour of the offensive end and burying after that circle is Luke Purnell. 3 goals in the last 2.5 minutes or so, and the Bulldogs quickly out to a 3-goal lead. Just good patience there by Luke Purnell. Brought his defender up and out from the wing, gets high side. The defender's trailing now, and a little sidearm shot beats St. Gelais to that. About hip level stick side. And Purnell with his first one of the day. Dylan Riccio with the face-off win. Up quick to Capello. He's guarded by Ayotte, trying to get the trail check. Capello misses on his shot high. Got the step, wasn't able to complete it as 2 additional Lancer defenders were coming to help out. Here's John Purnell. Helton on that far side wing, looking to play a little 2-man game with Matthews. Almost a moving pick there. Helton runs through a few stick checks, and now he cashes. Helton had 2 or 3 early opportunities. Wasn't able to hit the cage. He hits it there. Low left shot beats St. Gelais, and it's 4-0 Bedford.
Floodgates have opened up here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Londonderry take a timeout at some point soon.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Some odds going on here. They don't count the goal.
Ah.
Not quite sure what that call was, but they do not count that goal, so it'll stay 3-0. Very strange situation there. I'm not quite sure what that was. Okay, they are going to count the goal. The face-off got waved off, possibly for a conduct foul after the goal. So it is 4-0. It does count. So Helton does have a goal, but the face-off, because of the infraction, was waived. So the Lancers awarded possession on the dead ball foul on Bedford. Colby Boyd now on the clear out.
Fourth goal was by number 19, Brody Helton.
Riccio steps it in the box, fires it over to Purnell. John to Luke, and then Luke to Capello. Capello draws the short stick defender in this chance. And now the officials are asking for a 10-second runoff here, as it probably was not started at the start of the previous play in Bedford's defensive end. Capello now comes from back right of St. Gelais. Feeds inside to Gupta, almost got his second of the game. Takes a big hit in front, falls into the crease, and the crease violation will get called. 3:04 left here in the first quarter. The Bulldogs ahead 4-0, and now Capello blocking the pass on the clear. Harassing the defender as he tries to come out of his own end. Graham Cunningham back to St. Gelais. Face dodge there. Now Cunningham. Failure to advance here. They have 20 seconds to get it out of their own end, and it took far too long. So Matthews ahead quick. Capello can't squeeze it, but now he looks ahead. And finishing beautifully, John Purnell, a little low to high, beats St. Gelais up top, 5-0 Bedford, and they're on a roll here at the end of the first quarter.
Bedford goal by number 1, John Purnell. Assist to number 2, Evan Capello.
Capello, nice feed from up top after he couldn't squeeze that up pass, but does find John Purnell on the back door. Capello gets the assist. 1-1 for him. John Purnell with his first goal of the game. Bedford again. Purnell tries to get it to Capello. St. Gelais comes out of his cage. Now we have 4 Lancer defenders behind the cage. They are in a tough spot there. They'll call a loose ball hold. The Bulldogs will get the opportunity for another offensive possession with 2:18 left in the first and a 5-goal lead. Matthews. Bennett Matthews, top right of St. Gelais. Back to Helton. Takes a couple steps in. A little crow step there. Tries to get a little more time and more space to give himself the opportunity to pick a corner. Trying to be too precise. He misses the cage.
Bedford offense pretty much able to do whatever it wants at this point.
They'll call an illegal screen here, so they can't do that. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. St. Gelais. Up for Connor Woodward. Ball back on the turf, but Trey Campbell finds it. He gets swarmed by this Bedford ride. And they'll call something. Procedure playing without a stick, likely there, as it was stuck in Trey Campbell's stick, and the officials usually pretty quick to blow that dead. Helton now looks to run through defenders. Runs through 2 and finishes. Helton, his second on the day. 6-0 Bedford.
His second unassisted goal.
Bedford goal by number 19.
And after a somewhat quiet start to this first quarter, The last 5-6 minutes or so have just been a disaster for the Londonderry Lancers as they've let up 6 goals as we approach 90 seconds left here in the first quarter.
That may be the first face-off that Londonderry has come away with since the start of this game.
Griffin Cunningham controlling it. Trying to press the issue, gets it to Heward behind. Owen Heward up top now. Odin Delory. Pressing out on D is Dylan Riccio. Shot save here by Kahn. Delory tried to beat him stick side high, and Kahn was there. And now Dylan Riccio. Drive, absorbs a couple of checks. All the way up to Capello in the offensive end. And under a minute to go, the Bulldogs will try to get one last one here before the quarter break. Matthews, little Under Armour. Offside hip. Matthews has his first of the day.
Go along with 2 assists, racking up the points as he has his entire Bedford career.
So 1 and 2 for Matthews. 7-0 with 36 seconds left in the first. Riccio wins the faceoff. Into the offensive end, and the Bulldogs have time to score yet another here. 20 seconds. Purnell, good D. Ripped by Graham Cunningham. Nice check to get that ball on the ground. This Lancers defense has been busy. Austin Callahan looks up, tries to make a connection with the attack, but it misses everybody. And another turnover for the Lancers. 7 seconds. Coach Gaudreau probably want his D to heave it into the offensive end. Matthews up quick. Gupta takes the shot. St. Gelais true to the task. He'll get a save before the end of the first, but not before the Bedford Bulldogs rattle off 7 goals in the last 6 or 7 minutes of that first quarter. And this momentum is solid for Coach Gaudreau and the Bulldogs.
You've got to say that the game plan couldn't be any more perfect from Bedford's perspective. They have been aggressive defending in their offensive zone. They have been aggressive offensively, pretty much able to do whatever they want in terms of the cuts and the rushes to the net. And anytime Londonderry does find themselves in possession of the ball, they really have a hard time keeping it in the pocket and tend to turn it over fairly quickly.
Great pressure all over the field from this Bulldogs defense too, getting that ball back on the turf. Their ride, as usual, hustle plays left and right, earning additional offensive possessions for their team. It's done wonders here in the second part of the first quarter. We at BCTV and WBNH would like to thank our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones, and the Copper Door. Appreciate their support throughout our broadcast season, helping us provide this coverage of live sports for the Bedford community. Also, if you're enjoying the game, you can check out more BHS sports action from Bedford Community TV on your Apple TV and or Roku device. Download the app to watch the next game live on your big screen at home.
We're in a bit of a rare position here, Corey. This is the last team that Bedford has active in the playoffs. Everyone else either did not make the playoffs or they were eliminated. Most recently, the baseball team kind of got upset in the first round. And, of course, both the boys and girls tennis teams, as they do almost every year, advance to the state finals. The boys coming away with a victory, and the girls with a narrow 5-4 defeat to their typical rival, Derryfield. But again, softball, baseball, lacrosse, girls lacrosse, I should say, tennis teams, they're all done.
Track teams, though, didn't
No.
both track teams win?
They did not win, but I believe they have some people still alive in the meet of champions.
Fair enough. Opening face-off for the second quarter. Quickly up into the offensive end. Helton finds Capello, and the Bulldogs continue this onslaught. Capello has his second of the day, and Helton with his first assist. 8-0 Bedford. This might get ugly early.
I'm going to interject and say I think it already is ugly, Corey.
Well, that's fair. I guess that was a vague allusion to running time in the second half, but
True.
we'll see how things play out here in this second quarter as Dylan Riccio wins another face-off. This Bulldogs team operating quite efficiently in all phases of the game. Defensive end causing turnovers, pressing out, getting in hands. Kahn really hasn't been tested all that much. Through the midfield, they're going to call a ward here on Gupta. Smallest kid on the field gets a ward off. Somewhat strange. Here's Colby Walden testing the waters. Colby on Colby as Boyd defends. Heward. And now around for Brody Campbell. Campbell checked by Frangelo. And now up top, the midfielders will set things up. Here's Parker Lewis, all the way behind now. Back for Heward. Near side, Brody Campbell, and this is the kind of possession that the Lancers are going to need in this offensive end. Settle things down, give their D a break. As Colby Walden fires it near side, Trey Campbell. Parker Lewis.
Bedford's doing a nice job of keeping him out on the perimeter, though. There's been very little penetration.
Matthews there shading to the left, and now Helton might have an offensive opportunity here. Can't quite get to it. They call over and back, but they start quick, and now the odd man still will continue. Matthews looks for cutters, dangles, gets free, stings the upper corner. Matthews pushes it to 9-0. The Lancers have limited answers at this point in time. Matthews has his second goal of the game to go along with 2 assists.
Matthews achieved his 200th career point about a month ago in a game against Andover, and he's still only a junior.
Amazing offensive output from the midfielder. Strong go right and left, meaning he can finish with either hand. An absolute weapon from the midfield. Anytime he draws those short stick midfielders, he's looking to go draw those doubles and dump or sting those corners like you just saw. Absolute laser right there, and now he's back in possession as he trots from the box. They quickly put a long stick on him. Entry pass towards Gupta was tipped by the defenders, but it falls right into Capello's stick. So Evan Capello will ISO on the short stick defender. You see the Bedford offense moving high and away to give him some room to operate. He deals, he dunks. Evan Capello, the senior on graduation day, has a hattie in the first half. It's 10-0 Bedford.
There's a hat trick to go along with an assist of his own. He also picked up his 100th career point not that long ago. This is just a very, very strong Bedford offense, and then we keep calling out Helton's name as well. I'm surprised he isn't over 100 career points with the way he's been scoring today.
Face-off won by Dylan Riccio. And Riccio has been dominant here, giving the Bulldogs the make-it-take-it opportunities. Capello's pass back to Luke Purnell. An awkward one, low and to the offside, and Purnell couldn't handle it. A rare mistake and turnover for the Bulldogs. Cunningham passes through the midfield. Sticks get checked. Ball pops free and away. And now Brian Riccio dodges the riding attackman into the offensive end. Luke Purnell. His pass gets tipped. Nice job there by Andrew Cody to get his stick in the passing lane. And now Helton draws the defender, Cody Playton. Helton settles, surveys the scene, looks for cutters, tries to figure out where the double's coming from, and settles for the outside shot. St. Gelais with the low save. Graham Cunningham runs through a few defenders on his way into the offensive end. Walden tries to feed across. Beautiful pick there by Will Frangelo, getting his stick in the lane and catching it out of nowhere, not just tipping it. Helton thought he had a break in numbers, but it was a 4-on-4, so he eats it for the time being. Little catch there with Matthews. Checks a step, gets to his right hand, buries it high over St. Gelais. Matthews has a hattie now too. With 7:52 left in this first half, 11-0 Bedford.
Bedford 13. Matthews.
Not sure if you give the assist there or not. I mean, being a generous scorekeeper, I probably would.
I was waiting for the call up from the field that there was an assist on that one. I was surprised that there wasn't.
I think it was Helton there. Let's give him the assist.
All right.
Yeah, it's an assist in my book. Helton with 2 and 2 now. Matthews with 3 and 2. And we get a procedure call on the face-off as Griffin Cunningham a little aggressive there. Riccio been dominant throughout this first half on these face-offs, earning possession after possession for the Bulldogs. And they will settle once again. Could be a good opportunity for the Bulldogs to put some of their lesser frequent players on the field, get some playoff action and experience. As Helton feeds down low, John Purnell with his second of the game, Helton with his third assist. And actually give your starters a little bit of a rest, but also try to prevent any wayward activity.
Assist number 13.
Yeah, they gave that assist to Matthews.
Well, that was Helton quite clearly, so we'll call it Helton up here.
Yeah.
7:26 left in the first half. 12-0, a 7-goal run in the first, 5 more here in the second quarter, and the Bulldogs are cruising as Riccio wins yet another face-off. Coach Ward has no answers here on the face-off, few answers on the D end. Luke Purnell weaving around, and now we'll settle things down, harassed by Cam Ayotte way up top. Matthews back to Helton, coming out of the box. Helton with a head of steam, another feed inside, but Purnell can't turn the corner and hit the cage as his shot goes wide left. Luke Purnell backs it up behind. Helton again draws the long stick. Runs through 1, runs through 2, shot. Wide right, misses the cage. Gupta with the backup. They start things to the back left of St. Gelais. Gupta draws the pole. Gets ripped by the pole as Austin Callahan gets it on the carpet. Feeds his midfielder who can't quite keep it in his stick. Matthews scoops up the ground ball, and the Bedford Bulldogs with yet another offensive opportunity.
It's been the story of the game so far. Every time Londonderry does get their stick on the ball, they give it up pretty quickly.
Capello here again, drawing the short stick defender. Shot by John Purnell. Stings off the defender. Eating those is not fun. Austin Callahan with the soak there, but it changes the trajectory of the shot, and St. Gelais is able to run out the backup behind and earn possession for the Lancers. Austin Callahan needs to go to the sideline after that. Does not feel good. A solid rubber ball, moving at quite a pace with those attackmen. And play here. And Purnell with a hustle play. Looked like a decent body-to-body contact there, but they're going to call Luke Purnell on a penalty here.
Interesting, because immediately after Londonderry's Tyler Knapp shoved him back, and yet no call on that.
Tough one there. Good hustle play by Luke Purnell. Unfortunately, probably caught Knapp a little high.
That's not a penalty.
And so the official throws the flag, and the Lancers will have a man-up opportunity here. Extra man offense onto the field. They will start in a 2-3-1 and see if they can get a decent shot on Kahn here in this Bedford defense. They work the near side here. Here's Blake Thompson, now behind. Trying to round the corner, no defense comes. Getting high enough, rounding the corner and scoring. Odin Delory, I believe, the freshman. Coming around, goal line extended to Ethan Kahn's right. And again, those defenders have to come hard, have to come quick, lay body, and not soon enough. So 12-1 as the Lancers finally get on the board. Odin Delory on the man-up opportunity. 12-1 is your score, as guess what? Dylan Riccio wins another faceoff. Into the offensive end for Capello. Matthews draws the long stick midfielder. Scoots it back behind. Helton's shot gets deflected out front by Ayotte. Parker Gupta scrambles for the ground ball. Matthews rolls away, back to his right, now to his left, finishes low, outside right. This is the cage as St. Gelais was sprawling to his low left, trying to make that save. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. 12-1 is your score. The Bulldogs ahead big. Purnell runs through 2-3 defenders for the Lancers. Gets high side lefty, and his strong finish gives him his hat trick here in this first half.
Bedford goal line, number 1, John Purnell.
You know, from a coach's perspective, you want to see your team operating at a high level, and that's exactly what Bedford's doing right now. This will be great preparation for what is an anticipated second-round matchup with the Cardinals of Bishop Girton.
Again, that game being played at 5 p.m. this afternoon. Underway in just 23 minutes from now. Under 5 minutes to play. First half, the Bulldogs up 13-1. Matthews looks to get some space here. His shot goes outside left. Luke Purnell with the backup. Helton, nifty little dodge there. Nimble feet, nimble hands. Finishes offside on St. Gelais. 14-1.
Bedford goal line, number 19, Brody Helton.
3 goals apiece. Sorry to cut you off there, Coach Gibbs. Helton with 3, Matthews with 3, Capello with 3, John Purnell with 3. And this offensive juggernaut keeps rolling through the first half. 7 goals in the first quarter, 7 here in the second. And another procedure call on the Lancers.
Londonderry just does not have an answer for this high-powered offense that Bedford has. It's like watching two teams coming from a different universe at this point, and it just shows the separation that there is even in Division I here in New Hampshire between the top 4 teams and the rest of the division.
Yeah, you'd think a 3-6 matchup, you're going to have a really competitive game. And honestly, this game between these two teams back on May 23rd was very competitive through the first half. A burst in that third quarter put the Bulldogs ahead a lot. I think they had 5 or 6 goal run in the third quarter to put them up and to cruise throughout the rest of that game. And honestly, that game wasn't quite as close as the final score indicated. I believe it was 16-11 final. The Lancers scored 4 goals late in that game as the Bulldogs' second squad was out there. And so really kind of a 16-7, 16-9 kind of score instead of a 16-11. Matthews dances behind now. Feeds in front. Dropped right near the crease. And the Lancers D showing a little fight here. And a tough call here. St. Gelais scoops up the ground ball. They call out and in that if the goalie has possession outside of the crease, he's not allowed to re-enter the crease. They call an out and in on St. Gelais, and the Bulldogs with another offensive possession. Matthews will trot things through. Ripped there. Nice job by Ayotte with the takeaway check. A little something to say to Matthews on the way by. Probably not too much as he's down by 13 goals in the first half. And the ride for the Bulldogs puts it back on the turf. Cunningham scoops up the tough pass that was dropped. Frangelo now will try to do the same. Scoops that ground ball up, settles things down. Frangelo all the way across the field to Santos, who will use Ethan Kahn in his own crease. Outlet pass, Colby Boyd near side, near midfield, and the bounce pass hits off Colby Boyd and goes out of bounds. Brody Campbell now for the Lancers. Campbell presses the action. Here's Walden. Now Trey Campbell. Odin Delory, the only goal scorer for the Lancers so far. Presses the action behind now. Heward. Up top, Walden. Shot goes high, and he'll draw a foul. Helton, a little high, a little late, and Helton will go on the box and feel shame as Colby Walden draws the penalty, and the Lancers will have an extra man opportunity with 2:12 left in the first half. 14-1 is your score. The Bulldogs cruising here so far. Rain has stayed consistent. We expect it to relent here soon, hopefully for the second half, and dry things out just a little bit.
I'm not sure dry is anything we're going to see before this game is over.
You know, a person can hope here. Lancers try to keep it hot around the outside and look for time and space. Thompson up top for Walden. Thompson now behind Woodward. Oh, excuse me, that was Delory. Walden shot, stick side high for Kahn, and he makes the save. The Bulldogs have changed their clear significantly. They're bringing their midfielders back closer to the crease, trying to get it into a sure stick right after the save. This time it doesn't work as Riccio runs into trouble, turns it over, but the Lancers throw it out of bounds as they were looking for Owen Heward deep in that back right corner. Riccio scoops it up here again. Dylan Riccio, that is. Avoids one defender, now two. His pass into the middle to Bennett Matthews, and the Bulldogs are out. Matthews to Brian Riccio. And now back behind Luke Purnell. He'll settle things down as we approach 1 minute to go in the first half. Again, 14-1 is your score. 4 different Bedford players with a hat trick here in the first half. Helton up top, one of them. He has 3 and 3 as he draws Connor Woodward. Gupta. John Purnell to Luke Purnell, now Capello. Helton with the short stick defender, Connor Woodward. Woodward extending pressure out as much as he can. Trying to gain the early double. Helton dodges 2 guys. Little BTB'er behind the back shot. Saved by St. Gelais. Quick hands and great reaction by St. Gelais on that save. Helton trying with the crafty finish. Denied by St. Gelais. And now with 10 seconds to go, Helton will ISO. Tries to get stick side high. Gets it. And sticks it in that top right corner. 4th goal of this first half for Brody Helton. With just 7 seconds to go, he pushes it out 15-1.
Bedford goal by number 19, Brody Helton.
Just too big, too strong, and at that critical point at goal line extended, you need to come heavy and hard, force the inside roll. The Lancers too late on the double, and Helton is able to find that upper right corner.
Bedford's physicality really is ruling the day here.
Another procedure call on the Lancers. Riccio earns possession again for the Bulldogs. Up quick, Capello, 3 seconds. Gets the shot off, misses near side, low and left, and that'll do it for the first half. After 2 here in Bedford, New Hampshire, 15-1 is your score in this state quarterfinal matchup. The Bulldogs looking to close this out and earn their pass to Wednesday's semifinal out in Exeter. We'll take a break and join you for second half action here from Bedford, New Hampshire on BCTV.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
And we're back here in Bedford, New Hampshire, as the Bedford Bulldogs are hosting the Londonderry Lancers in this state quarterfinal match of the Division I Boys Lacrosse Tournament here. BCTV's crew here, Corey Munster Tiger, Kevin Gibbs, after a very busy first half for the Bedford offense as they lead 15-1 at halftime. Coach Gibbs, thoughts from that first half?
Well, if you're Londonderry at this point, you spent your halftime trying to figure out how to stem the tide. Interestingly enough, Bedford's team came back to the field with a bit of a hop in their step, and Londonderry was walking like they were heading to their last meal. And unless something really dramatic happens, this is going to be their last half of lacrosse for this 24-25 season.
It sure will. We do have 12 minutes back on the board. We are just about ready to start this third quarter. 7 goals in the first quarter, 8 more in the second quarter, matched by just 1 for the Lancers in the second quarter. 15-1 is your score. Odin Delory, the only goal scorer for the Lancers, countered by the Bulldogs. They had 3 players with a hat trick in the first half, 1 with 4 in being Brody Helton, and Dylan Riccio continues his momentum from the first half as he wins the face-off to start things here in the third quarter.
Just going to say that. What a turn of events. Sarcasm font there.
And we are underway. Riccio tries to grab one here in the middle. A little overhead check there by Bennett Matthews as he's able to cause that ball back on the turf. Coming away with it there, though, on the scramble, Austin Callahan tries to get it up quick, and it finally finds its way into Ethan Kahn's butterfly net, and he'll clear things out. Gupta, Matthews. The Lancers trying to show a little fight here as we get started in the third quarter. They're going to need a lot of fight as we go throughout this second half. We are in running time. NHIAA rules have a 12-goal margin for running time. And despite that score potentially getting closer, it still will be running time, but it's not going to get closer as Luke Purnell is able to make a nice inside roll, keep it in his right hand, and finish on the bouncer. Luke Purnell with 2 now on his graduation day.
Purnell.
Again, it is just evident that Bedford is far superior both in terms of size, speed, skill set, and it's really indicative, as I mentioned earlier, of the separation between the teams at the top and the teams in the middle in the state's largest division.
Riccio with another face-off win. The Bulldogs will settle things. Matthews inside, Capello stoned on the doorstep. St. Gelais comes away with a nice save. St. Gelais gets into a little trouble on the riding Bedford defense, but finds a player far side. They fire it up quick. Brody Campbell now tries to press the action. Rolls back inside. Lefty shot low to the left side, and he beats Kahn. Second goal on the game for the Lancers. Brody Campbell with his first of the day.
The normal comment at this point would be Londonderry showing a little bit of life, but with the score at 16-2, they need a lot more life than that.
They sure do. We'll go back to the face-off X. We'll see what happens here. You want to make a prediction, Coach Gibbs?
My money's on Bedford. There we go.
Good money it is. Riccio rolls away from pressure, gains possession, and into the offensive end. John Purnell behind. Tries to drive hard lefty. Get to that top side. We'll settle things down. Here's Brody Helton from top center. Matthews. Draws the double. Helton now. Rolls back lefty. Shot outside to the left side.
I think the next point of speculation will be when Coach Gaudreau starts to go a little bit into his bench for some playoff experience for some of his players, looking to the future, but also to not risk injury to his frontline players.
That would make sense. Luke Purnell gets high side, but saved by St. Gelais. Good offside high save there. Tyler Knapp for the Lancers over midfield. Kobe Walden now. Draws Kobe Boyd behind. Walden gets a step, his shot. Too far high. Backed up by Brody Campbell. Campbell to Owen Heward. Pass up to Walden, gets tipped. Parker Lewis now looks to ISO. Moves it around. The Lancers showing patience. I'm not sure they have the time to show patience. Brody Campbell. Good job by Frangelo. Campbell rings the pipe. A little post Malone appearance there. Chased out on the far side, Brody Campbell. Nice job there going back and forth. Getting his left hand free. Was able to ring it off that far pipe, and Ethan Kahn with a little help from his friend. It stays 16-2.
I'll tell you, musical analogies are running rampant.
Heward, top left of Kahn.
You mentioned patience, but I think it's as much Bedford's defense as it is Londonderry's patience at this point.
Absolutely solid position defense, getting the slides when they need them. And now ball pops out. Walden scoops it up, quick pass down low. Owen Heward buries it, and the first 2-goal run for the Lancers. I believe that was Heward from Walden.
Londonderry by number 7, Owen Heward. Assist number 2, Kobe Walden.
We have a small but enthusiastic crowd of spectators here, as you can tell by the number of umbrellas that are starting to impede our vision again.
Riccio, guess what he did?
He won the face-off.
He won a face-off. Bennett Matthews draws 2, tries to dump far side to Luke Purnell. Scrambles back for the ground ball. We approach the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. Again, running time, 16-3 is the lead for the Bulldogs over the visiting Londonderry Lancers. Matthews looks to feed inside. Now we'll take a shot and ring off the near side post. Patience there from Matthews. Eventually deteriorated. He was about 12 yards high and out to the left of St. Gelais. He said, if you guys are going to give me a little space, I'm going to rip. Purnell gets high.
One of his own.
Gets a goal. And I say high, he's high above goal line extended. He's giving himself an angle to shoot at the cage. Every step higher of goal line extended you get, the better your odds, as the more surface area of the goal is exposed, giving you better opportunities to score. And there, Purnell took the right amount of steps, low to low, finds that low left corner, and he has 4 on the day. Riccio tries to push forward this time. Double team there on the ground ball. So pushes it back and still comes up with it. Purnell gets pushed out over the end line, so they'll turn it over.
You know, something we have not talked about to this point is the seamless transition from Bedford's success under Coach Bordeaux to now under Coach Gaudreau. They really haven't missed a beat in terms of style of play and strength in terms of how they go up against the other teams in the division. It's a testament to the feeder system Bedford has as well.
Santos with a great ground ball will get the apple here, scoops it up, presses it forward. Capello will finish, and Santos will get the goal. And yes, you're absolutely right. This Bedford Bulldogs squad benefiting from a few years of guidance from Coach Bordeaux, and now Coach Gaudreau picking up the pieces and moving forward. Congratulations to Coach Bordeaux, as he had a great season at St. Anselm. I believe he was in the finals this year, Division II, with that squad.
They were.
Couldn't come out with the chip, but...
An interesting side note for the Gaudreau family. Oh, Bedford win.
That's weird.
Side note is that Kate Gaudreau coaches the boys lacrosse team at the middle school here in town. So it's an all-in-the-family type of thing.
Love to see it. Matthews breaks down the defender, goes lefty and buries. Too good, too quick, too good of stick skills, too accurate. Matthews, yet another. He has 4 on the day.
Number 13, Bennett Matthews. Assist number 1, John Purnell.
They give the assist there to Purnell. I believe that's his first on the day.
I think we're starting to see a couple of substitutes for Bedford at this point. A couple of seniors have come in. Drew Allen and Parker Lewis have entered the game.
And what did Riccio just do?
He won the faceoff.
Won a faceoff. 19-3 is your score. Running time. 1:30 to go here in the third quarter. Riccio, that's Brian Riccio, steps it into the box. Scoots it back to Bennett Matthews. He settles and looks for his teammate and friend, Brody Helton, as these two with 4 goals apiece so far. Matthews 2 assists, Helton 3 assists. Matthews dangles, gets by 1 defender, takes a rip from the right side, beats St. Gelais again, and Matthews now with 5.
Goal number 13.
Bedford goal by number 13, Bennett Matthews.
You could almost put it on replay, auditory replay. Goal by Matthews. Bedford wins the faceoff. Seems like it's what we've been saying almost nonstop lately.
We'll see what happens here again, but you know, if you've ever played roulette, you might want to bet on Riccio.
And let it ride.
There he goes, he wins another. And Kobe Rubin now in for the Bulldogs at attack. Steps it into the box, the sophomore getting some time here in this game. Riccio pulls the trigger, St. Gelais down and makes the save. Good job by St. Gelais to get his stick on that one, the low bouncer. The Lancers will push in transition, looking for odd man. They get it quickly to Brody Campbell, but not quickly enough. The third quarter horn sounds, and we will end the third. 20-3 is your score. The Bulldogs up big here. Take a quick minute to thank our underwriters here at WBNH and BCTV. We appreciate our underwriters for supporting our live sports coverage. That's Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones, and the Copper Door. We'll also review the playoff bracket. As we talked about, the Bulldogs, the 3 seed taking on the 6 seed Londonderry here right now. I don't want to say this game is over, but it might be a foregone conclusion at this point in time. The winner will look to go to the semifinal round at Bilbao Stadium in Exeter on Wednesday. That is a 5 p.m. start. They will take on the winners of the Bishop Girton Concord matchup. That one is starting momentarily, if it hasn't already. I believe it did 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago, yes.
5 p.m. face-off for those two. The other half of the bracket, Pinkerton, the number 1 seed, as they earned that in the final regular season game here at Bedford. They had a convincing victory here at Bedford, earning the number 1 seed and now taking on the number 9 seed Dover, who advanced past Nashua South. The first round Dover score was 14-1. They advanced to play Pinkerton. Pinkerton dominant in that one. 14-1 of that was the score there. Pinkerton moving on to the semifinals. That game was played at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Pinkerton will take on the winners of Exeter and Merrimack, who were supposed to play this afternoon at 5 p.m. as well, but apparently that game got moved to Monday at 5 p.m.
Oh, really?
So the Exeter-Merrimack game, the winner will play Pinkerton on Wednesday evening. Again, out at Exeter, that start will be 7:15 out at Bilbao Stadium. Finals will be played next Saturday, 7 p.m. face-off, again out in Exeter for the Division I championship.
The horses. Londonderry wins a face-off.
They did. Colby Walden comes up from his attack position, takes the face-off and wins it. They go down, get a tic-tac-toe in, making a save there. Matt Ben, who has stepped into the cage for the Bulldogs. Coach Gaudreau putting in some of his substitutes, and in running time here as we start the fourth quarter. 20-3 is your score. The Bulldogs up by 17. Ayotte feeds down low. Shot score. Ayotte to Trey Campbell. And they get another on the board. 20-4 is now the score.
So while we watch the last 11 minutes or so of this Bedford playoff game, this won't be the last lacrosse being played here in the Boneyard. As is often the case, Coach Athletic Director Corey Parker has volunteered Bedford's field for the Division II lacrosse semifinals that'll be taking place here next Thursday.
Great facility to host it. Very generous by our Athletic Director Corey Parker. We give him a hard time for many things, but he is gracious at times. At times. We'll just say at times. 10.5 to go here in this quarterfinal game. 20-4 is the score. The Bulldogs getting some reserve players in. Good opportunity to get game time experience, playoff experience against this Lancer squad. Some of these younger players feeling what it's like to play in the playoffs. Kobe Rubin behind draws Cam Ayotte, solid defender for the Lancers. Draws the double team. Fair body-to-body collision there, as coming over for the double was Cody Playton. They'll call a loose ball push, give it back to the Bulldogs.
I think the Bedford fans are a little surprised by that, only because for most of this game it's the larger, more physical Bedford players that have been getting the better of those types of collisions.
Honestly, it felt like a soft call. It looked like a good double, and that should have been Lancer ball there. But we don't make too many judgments on our referees. They do a great job. We'll get a cross check here as being aggressive on the D end. Kyle Woodward getting a little high, getting a little aggressive with his hands too far apart on the stick. He'll draw a penalty, and we do have a delayed penalty with the flag down on that far sideline. Be an over and back here. It'll get blown dead. And we'll see if the reserve players can score a man-up goal here. Or no, we won't, as Coach Gaudreau puts his first power play unit out there. Man-up squad with the starters out there. Matthews, Helton, Purnell, Capello, and Gupta. 8:35 and running in this game. 20-4 is the score.
Well, normally you might look and say, you know, why? As a coach, I can tell you, you want your people that are looking to practice situations to be out there whenever those situations present themselves, so that they can make sure that they're sharp.
Especially, as you mentioned, in these special teams type situations, man up, man down. Helton will take a shot, steps in, and beats St. Gelais. Nobody came to put pressure on his hands, and Helton says, fine, I'll take the 15-yard shot. Buries it top right. St. Gelais couldn't catch up. 21-4. Helton catches back up to Matthews. They have 5 goals apiece. Purnell and Capello with 4 apiece. The 3 others, there's 2 by Luke Purnell, 1 by Parker Gupta. That rounds out the scoring for the Bulldogs. The 3 goals for the Lancers as they come away with the face-off. There's Heward, Brody Campbell, and Odin Delory. We got some flags flying all over the place, and that'll settle things down. We'll take a timeout with an injured player. It looks to be Colby Walden, as there was a scramble in midfield. It'll take a minute. Shake the cobwebs out after that one.
Be great if we could see it on replay here, but our screens seem to be in permanent clock.
Yeah, we've been having a tough time with the network here. We usually do have replay, as our friend back in the studio, Andrew Fenn, is phenomenal to do so. But network issues have been slowing down our feed, so we don't have it in front of us. The Bulldogs will go down a man here on the penalty, as Finn LaMarche will take a knee in the box and feel shame. 7:19 to go in the game. 21-4 is the score. And a couple of substitutions on the D end.
Your eyesight must be a heck of a lot better than mine, because I can't tell if he's feeling shame or not over there.
I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, as long as he's watched Slapshot, he will go in the box and feel shame.
Only if he's wearing horn-rimmed glasses.
I would hope so. Putting on the foil, coach. We have Blake Thompson here getting things started for the Lancers. Over to Lewis. Back to Thompson. He looks for cutters. A little room inside. Shot from that far side. I believe that got tipped by Brian Riccio. And now Coach Jimmy Ward will take a timeout for the Lancers.
Timeout, Londonderry.
I'm not sure we've made mention, but Bedford also has a backup goalie in the net now. Matt Ben is manning the goal. Good opportunity for him to get some live playoff experience.
Sure is. The junior keeper in there for the start of this 4th quarter. Made a save a little bit earlier and helped direct the clear out to his right side. 6:59 to go in the game. And again, the Bulldogs cruising. This offense has just been clicking on all cylinders from about halfway through that first quarter. It was pretty quiet, knotted at 0 until about 7 minutes left in that first quarter, and it's just been a landslide since. A 7-goal run to end that first quarter. Another 8 goals in the second quarter, answered only by Odin Delory with 1 goal for the Lancers. Halftime score was 15-1. And they have been cruising since.
And, you know, you might look and say 6-3 in the second half. Is that the definition of cruising? And I would say, yeah, it is, if only because the ball control time really has not diminished at all from Bedford's perspective. They've still done everything that they want to do, and you almost compare it to Coach Cowdrow has got his team working on some different plays, some different sets, to prepare themselves for whoever their opponent is next week, whether it's Girton or Concord. You know, we all look at the chalk and say it may be Bishop Girton, probably will be, but stranger things have happened. Lower seeds do win.
A lot of strange things would have to happen there. It's not, again, a foregone conclusion. That is a tough Bishop Girton squad as usual. Maddie Ben coming up with a save there. We do want to take a second and throw a shout out and a hello to our colleague sitting on a dock of the bay in Maryland eating some crab cakes. Harry Kozlowski sending some text messages. We know he's tuning in and enjoying the game this afternoon. Harry, hope you're enjoying your vacation down there. The Lancers man up, running the wheel on that far side on the right. Looking backside, beautiful pass and finish here. Odin Delory gets his second on the game. Fed, I believe, by Trey Campbell. I believe it was Campbell, possibly Colby Walden on the assist. I couldn't quite see who that was, but I don't think Walden was out there. I'm going to give that one to Trey Campbell.
Londonderry goal by number 18, Odin Delory. Assist number 2, Colby Walden.
There you go. Assist to Walden.
They said Walden, but I didn't see him out there. I believe it was Campbell, but again, we don't have the replay. We'll go with what we saw. Either way, Delory gets his second on the day. And it is 21-5. Riccio scoops it out, a little brush there. Some fans want to call, and they're likely not going to get that when they're up 21-5. That's going to be called a brush every time. Riccio over to DeJesus. And now Sebastian Wright, the freshman, getting some time at attack. Parker Gupta tries to get it inside to Rubin, pass tipped. St. Gelais gets things out to midfield. Griffin Cunningham can't connect with Brody Campbell. Walden up top getting some runs at midfield. He'll go against DeJesus. Shot here, outside right from Maddie Ben's cage. As we tick down to 4 minutes. 21-5 is your score. The Bulldogs up by 16.
Measure the banner and get one that fit and then put it in time for graduation.
Far side here, Trey Campbell. Now up top for Blake Thompson, back to Campbell.
Unfortunately, I had my drill bit.
Thompson.
The concrete was not easy to get through.
Brody Campbell now back to Thompson. They push out as Cam Santos gets pressure in the gloves. Colby Boyd steps into the passing lane. Good job getting his stick on that ball and getting it on the turf. He pushes it out of bounds, but disrupts the offense there. Trey Campbell will bring it in from behind. Walden looks for the pick and roll action here. A little two-man game. Draws Will Frangelo on the switch. Walden with 2 assists on the day. Tries to get a third here. Feeds out front. Great save, Maddie Ben getting down low. And now off to the races to Jesus. They've got odd man. Great hustle by Blake Thompson to cut that off. That could have been a 4-on-3, but Thompson showing some legs through the midfield and helping out nicely on that odd man, potential odd man break. Bulldogs turn it over here. No, they don't. It was tipped out of bounds by the Lancers, so Bulldogs get possession. Ayotte, nice little pinwheel check there. Great job to shoot the stick, get the pinwheel, and off to the races is Austin Callahan. Had the 4-on-3, kept it, got doubled. Ball on the turf. Finds Trey Campbell, gets inside, finishes high. Trey Campbell, good hustle play. He has 2 on the day.
As you mentioned in the last game they played during the regular season, Londonderry picked up some goals late to make the score look respectable. They're picking up late goals here, but they got a ways to go to make the score look respectable at this point, Corey.
Yeah, very much not respectable right now. 21-6, a 15-goal lead. We're under 2 minutes to go as we've had running time this entire second half. 2 goals apiece for Trey Campbell and Odin Delory, 1 goal each for Brody Campbell and Owen Heward. That makes the 6 for the Lancers as they try to get the odd man here. A little round the world for Brody Campbell, misses the cage, backed up nicely on that far side. Kellen McGinnis hustling out into that back right corner. The onslaught from this Bedford offense, 5 goals for Helton, 3 assists, 5 goals, 2 assists for Bennett Matthews. 4 and 1 each for John Purnell and Evan Capello. Luke Purnell, 2 goals for him on his graduation day. Parker Gupta also with a goal on his graduation day, and this Bedford Bulldogs offense has put 21 up on the Lancers defense here this afternoon. A minute to go. The Lancers D will take it over. I'll take a minute here to thank our BCTV crew. Bill Jennings here in the box running the camera. Like I said earlier, Andrew Fenn back in the studio helping with production. Always great to do a broadcast with this crew. Scrambling today as they covered Bedford High School graduation at 10 a.m. and had to hustle over here to make sure this broadcast was ready. Parker Lewis trying to get some space, running through a few defenders. He finishes. So Lewis gets the 7th goal of the day for the Lancers. And that should do it as we're inside 15 seconds. As we wrap up, Coach Gibbs, any last thoughts?
Well, I think the one thing that stands out is that as much as this was a one-sided game, I think Bedford's next contest will be a battle, an absolute battle. Once you hit the semis, everybody deserves to be there. So hopefully some lessons have been learned, and Bedford will be ready to go in the next round.
The next round, again, will be on Wednesday evening. They will take on the winner of Bishop Girton versus Concord. A quick score update from that game. Bishop Girton up in the second quarter, 6-1 over Concord. Final score here, 21-7. The Bulldogs come in after graduations. They take care of business. They pop out to a 7-goal lead after one and cruise from there. Congratulations to the Bulldogs. Moving on to the semifinals. Again, thank you to our BCTV crew. Thank you, Kevin Gibbs. Always a pleasure to do a game with you. I'm Corey Munster-Tiger. Good luck to the Bulldogs in the semifinals as they continue this run in Division I boys lacrosse. They look to continue their season for at least 1, if not 2 more games. Have a great afternoon, everyone.